Never Mind the Hype is at Roadburn Festival 2018, where you get the chance to pick the brain of Justin Broadrick, a regular at the festival with his band Godflesh and many other projects.
Well, when I recorded Napalm Death, the Scum album with Napalm Death, I was actually 16, and I'm going to be 49 later this year, so that's 32 years of actual, real activity. Probably like a lot of artists, you pretty much need to feel that what you've done currently is the most relevant and exciting thing you've done. You know, it's like last night for me was although we were playing an album from 1994, it felt like it was our best performance yet at Roadburn. It's insanely stressful. The pre-production, which is pretty much just me painstakingly reprogramming every single drum part for like a record that I programmed the drums for, 20 something plus years ago, where none of the original parts exist anymore. I mean, I started probably a month ago doing this, and I had to pretty much shelve all of the work to be able to achieve it. But I'm from a council estate in Birmingham, which is by and large quite a really unpleasant environment to grow up in the 70s. And my parents were into drugs and stuff, so I was around quite a scene of music and drugs the whole time I was growing up. Like Metal Machine music by Lou Reed, and I remember hearing that when I was like 6-7 years old, because these records were around me, all the time, because they were young people doing drugs, listening to music, and I was just in that environment. So I think it was just natural for me to, it was nurture, I guess. Maybe somewhat nature, I don't know. I never knew my father until I was about 21, but he also was a bass player and a guitarist and a very good musician. I think it was natural. I followed in my parents' footsteps like a lot of us do initially, and made a very early sort of connection with music. I think it was due to my own issues with hypersensitivity and anxiety, and I think music was the one connection I could make apart from like school. It was just a daydream, a fearful daydream. I'm eating up with it nearly everything and anything I do. I don't live now. I live in the future all the time, and everything causes me intense stress. Unfortunately, we're living in a culture now of recognition and acknowledgement of this, as opposed to the old adage of get on with it. Because back when I was a kid, I'd just be told to get on with it if I was depressed or if I was, and all these have been issues for me my life so far. And yeah, it used to be getting on stage, and it still is. The crutch I used to use was copious amounts of alcohol and weed, And then when that started to have a really negative impact upon me, which with age it's going to generally, unless you employ some sense of self-discipline. I used to be almost carried on to planes, I'd be that drunk that you'd have to carry me onto a flight, because that's another thing I have complete terrible issues about. But I can have an issue with going out my front door, So it's there isn't anything that doesn't cause me massive anxiety. I'm eaten up by it. But sometimes, the period before hitting that stage is the worst. But then there's the sense of relief once the performance begins. The amount of deep breaths and almost meditative aspects that have to be achieved to actually just then let this all go. And it takes a lot of self-discipline again to be measured about it. I remember many early Godflesh performances where I would literally, in the first 2 songs, implode. It would be like I'd have nothing left. I'd be so exhausted because of the anxiety that it took, the build-up it took to, and then the sense of release and relief, that I'd be shot for almost the entire rest of the set. With age, I've managed to just even manage myself somewhat better, but I'm still completely eaten up with this stuff, But this music is a fantastic way for me, and I'm grateful that I have this. I have a way of being able to express it, and communicate it, and use this negativity to make extremely negative music.
Thanks a lot for watching. Make sure to check out Nevermind the Hype for more things Roadburn. Like and subscribe, and be the first to get notified of next week's episode with Julie Christmas and Johannes from Cult of Luna.
I frequently indulge in hate, so.
There need to be more females on stage, period.